Immunodeficiency disorder is one of the complex topic of pediatric. Questions are frequently asked in all examination. Hello friend, welcome to my YouTube channel 5 Minute Pediatric. Today we will discuss about approach to primary immunodeficiency. So, when to suspect primary immunodeficiency? Out of 10 point, we must have more than 2 out of these. Okay. So, 4 or more new ear infections within 1 year. 2 or more serious sinus infection within 1 year. 2 or more months on antibiotic with little effect. 2 or more pneumonia within 1 year. 2 or more deep-seated infection including septicemia, failure to thrive or failure to grow or gain weight normally, recurrent deep skin or organ abscesses, persistent oral thrush or fungal infection on skin, need for IV antibiotic to clear infection, family history of PID. So I have on the basis of this we can classify phagocytic defect, T cell defect, B cell defect, combined T and B cell defect, complement defect and immune dysregulation defect. Okay, so initial test what we do. So CVC with ESR. If you have good knowledge how to interpret CVC, you can easily narrow down differential. First of all, you have to calculate acute lymphocyte count and absolute neutrophil count. Okay, if you have problem, you can give comment. I will try to solve your query. Okay, so when to suspect phagocytic defect? Okay, so how to proceed? Now in history we will find the child in neonatal period, history of delayed cord fall with omphalitis, no pus formation, history of poor wound healing. Okay, all these history with absolute neutrophil count, and if we get its value low, so we have differential severe congenital neutropenia and cyclical neutropenia. So how we can differentiate? In SCN, the presentation is in neonatal period and there is marked monocytosis with anemia and thrombocytosis. While in cyclical neutropenia, there is a typical history of ANC drop every 3 to 4 weeks with fever, infection and mouth ulcer. So now both the conditions, severe congenital neutropenia and cyclical neutropenia, there is a mutation in neutrophil elastase gene. Now if we get absolute neutrophil count normal or increase, we have differential chronic granulomatous disease and LAD. Okay, now what is CGD? There is a typical history of eczematous rash with deep-seated abscess, infection with Staph aureus, Burkholderia, fungal infection, aspergillosis are common. Screening test we have NBT and DHR test. Confirmation is done by molecular analysis. Two form X-linked form and autosomal recessive form have been identified. Now in leukocyte adhesion defect type 1, which is diagnosed by flow cytometric analysis of CD18, CD11A, B and C, and LAD2 have distinctive feature with mental retardation, short stature and Bombay blood group. Okay, now important question, Chedak-Higashi syndrome. It is inheritance is autosomal recessive. Typical presentation: a mentally retarded child with light skin and silvery hair with recurrent history of fever, otitis media, gingivitis, with skin biopsy showing giant melanosomes. And if we do peripheral smear, then we find a large inclusion body in all nucleated cells. Typical history you can find, and questions are frequently asked in all examination. Now, when to suspect B cell defect? So it usually present after 6 months when the maternal IgG start dropping. There is a history of recurrent sinopulmonary infection. You may find absent tonsil and palpable lymph node also in this child. Now, if we get this type of history, then we estimate B cell number and estimate the level of immunoglobulin, that is AGMDE. Okay, if we get serum immunoglobulin level, first A, if it is abnormal, we go for G, then M. Okay, if all the three is reduced, then we estimate the B cell number CD19 plus. Okay, and we found it, there is no B cell, means immunoglobulin is reduced and no B cell. The condition we have a gamma globulinemia. And other situation, if we get normal B cell or low B cell number, we have differential CVID, common variable immunodeficiency. Now, what is a gamma globulinemia? Inheritance form, X-linked form or autosomal recessive form. X-linked form, we called it Bruton's A gamma globulinemia. There is a Bruton tyrosine kinase deficiency. Here X-linked, so boy present with fever and acute flaccid paralysis following polio vaccine. This question is frequently asked. And if we do CSF, there is a introvirus, and physical examination shows absence of tonsil and palpable lymph node. Now we have CVID. In CVID, the inheritance is autosomal dominant condition. There is a recurrent sinopulmonary infection with autoimmune disease like autoimmune hemolytic anemia with reduced level of all IgA, G and normal to low IgM. There is increased risk of lymphoreticular tumor. Okay, this type of history we get in CVID. Now scenario 2, we have if the IgG IgA level is reduced with normal or increased IgM. Here IgM is increased, in previous condition normal or low. We have two differential: transient hypogammaglobulinemia of infancy and hyper IgM syndrome. In hyper IgM, there is increased incidence of pneumocystis carinii pneumonia, and chest X-ray we get reticulonodular pattern. Bronchoalveolar helps in lavage, helps in diagnosis. Now, how we can differentiate between these two conditions? So, transient hypogammaglobulinemia of infancy usually get corrected by 2 years of age. Okay, infant should be more than 6 months of age, and immunoglobulin IgD level less than 2 standard deviation below the mean for age. Okay. Now case scenario 3rd, we get all the 3 level normal. So in this condition we do the antibody titer to vaccine antigen pneumococcal vaccine, and if it is abnormal, we have a specific antibody deficiency, and titer is also again normal. Then we search for cystic fibrosis, primary ciliary dyskinesia, allergic or complement deficiency. Now case 4, we have IgA level is decreased. Again we do antibody against vaccine antigen, and we found if their response is normal, we have selective IgA deficiency. And if we found the antibody response is low, we have IgA with a specific antibody deficiency. So selective IgA is important topic, question are frequently asked. If someone with recurrent diarrhea with giardiasis infection, recurrent pneumonia and anemia, and if we transfuse, the child develops severe transfusion reaction. These are the typical history of selective IgA deficiency. Now, when to suspect T cell defect? T cell defect, the history having opportunistic infection, viral, fungal, age group is 2 to 6 months. Any infant with lymphopenia, okay. If the child WBC is low and lymphocyte count is low, then we go for T cell enumeration by flow cytometry. If we as we know that the normally 70% it constitutes 70% of peripheral lymphocyte. A T cell defect include common Dijor syndrome and chronic mucocutaneous fungal infection. Now, important topic, we have Dijor syndrome. Question are also frequently asked. There is a dysmorphic newborn with hypocalcemic seizure with cardiac murmur or defect with CHF and X-ray showing absent thymus. Here, third and fourth pharyngeal pouch, there is a dysmorphogenesis. And chromosome, we have 22. All the question is asked, so you have to remember all the point. Okay. Now, when to suspect combined B cell and T cell defect? So, we have following step. Step 1, we go for lymphocyte count. Then we go for flow cytometry for T cell, B cell and natural killer cells, and enumerate percentage of memory versus naive T cells. Okay. So, if we get low lymphocyte count, okay, case 1 we have T negative, B negative, means no T cell, no B cell. Then we go for ADA activity. Okay, if ADA activity is absent, we have ADA deficiency. If ADA activity is normal, we have RAG1 or RAG2 or Artemis deficiency. Now we have low lymphocyte count. Case 2 we have T negative, B plus, NK negative. Okay, only B cell is present. Then we have X-linked severe combined immunodeficiency or JAK3 deficiency. Now again we have low lymphocyte count, and we have case 3 T negative, B positive, natural killer positive. Okay, now here we do PNP activity. Okay, on the basis of PNP activity, if the activity is absent, we have PNP deficiency, and if the activity is normal, then we have interleukin 7R alpha, CD3 delta, CD45 deficiency. These are the complex topics. Still you have to remember all these. So now, if in many situations with immunodeficiency combined effect, we get normal lymphocyte count, and there is only T cells present, B negative. So we have normal CD4 to CD8 ratio. Here we have Oman syndrome. Okay. In other situation, if we have normal lymphocyte count and T positive and B positive, here both the present, and we get low CD4, then we have HLA2 deficiency. And other situation, we have low CD8, then we have JAP7T deficiency. These are the complex, still you have to remember. Okay, question may ask. Now, important point we have, in normal infant, more than 95% of T cells are naive T cells, that is CD45RA, while infant with SCID have more memory T cells, that is CD45RO, because these are transplacentally transferred maternal T cells. Okay. Now, when to suspect complement deficiency? Usually it present after 5 years of age. Complement C1 to C4 of classic pathway deficiency associated with autoimmune disease and pyogenic infections, while terminal complex T5 to T9 deficiency have increased susceptibility to serious infection from Neisseria species. So, how we will evaluate this condition? So, initial evaluation for complement we do CH50 for classical pathway and final lytic component except C9 and AH50 for alternative and final lytic pathway. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.